Now at 9, authorities in Crawford County search for a man suspected in an exchange of gunfire with law officers. Plus, voters in Oklahoma today are deciding whether to approve recreational marijuana. And
the State Department confirms the death of 2 of 4 Americans kidnapped in Mexico. I'm William Lajeunesse. Details coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. It's a big day in Oklahoma as voters are deciding whether to approve the legalization of recreational marijuana. Voters rejected the measure. It would have allowed anyone aged 21 and over to purchase and possess up to 1 ounce of marijuana, including concentrates and marijuana-infused products. The state approved medical marijuana in 2018. Police in Crawford County, Kansas have found the man that led authorities on an hours-long manhunt. Aaron Swink was captured near South 220th Street in Pittsburgh about 6:30 this evening. No one was injured while taking Swink into custody. Swink was the suspect in several incidents involving gunfire overnight and into the morning, including a standoff with law enforcement. KOAM John Haldala has more on the manhunt.
Crawford County Sheriff's Office and other agencies searched Tuesday for Aaron Swink. According to Kansas Department of Correction records, he was released on March 2nd from jail parole violations. On March 6th, they listed him as absconded.
We had some shootings that occurred out in the county and in the city of Pittsburgh, and the individual ended up in a pursuit with law enforcement, which ended here south of South Rouse.
Sheriff Danny Smith said Swink was then in standoff with law enforcement.
There was an exchange of fire between law enforcement and Mr. Swink. At some point in time, a pursuit again ensued, and that was earlier this morning, and then that ended here.
Those living nearby said the manhunt woke some of them up.
We received a text from my daughter and said that it's seen that there's a manhunt going on and someone was on the loose. So just made sure that the doors were locked.
Officers visited some of the houses as well.
Block the streets off and come knocking at your door, and they searched my backyard, make sure that there was no one back there. Told me if I see someone in a black vest to call. I said, if I see anybody, I'll call.
The Pittsburgh Police, Kansas Bureau of Investigation, Highway Patrol, and U.S. Marshals also assisted the search. Law enforcement is concerned of the safety of public around the area.
The way he was acting last night, I would definitely say that he is an armed and dangerous person.
Janna Hautala, KOAM News.
During the manhunt, Pittsburgh schools went into a soft lockdown, meaning students were kept indoors and continued learning as usual. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with the first look of the weather.
All right, thank you very much. It's been a rainy evening across a large part of the area. Radar right now showing quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity extending all the way down to Oklahoma City, right up I-44, right up into the metro area. Let's zoom in and show you some of the heavier showers just to the north of Veneta up near Blue Jacket and Welch, extending down towards Nowata. Also some showers moving into the Miami area down towards Grove and northern Mays County, even some lightning bolts in and around the Joplin metro area. You can hear the rumble of thunder here at the studio. The heaviest rain so far has been up in Cedar County around Stockton, extending down towards Lamar, and also up around Mound City. But some places could get up to about an inch or more by the time all is said and done. Temperatures dropping through the 40s tonight, all the way down to 45 degrees. And looking down the lane, we have more rain on the way, including tonight and Thursday, as well as the weekend. I'll have all the details in just a little bit.
All right, sounds good. If you live in Missouri and heard that sound today and didn't see a tornado, it's because there wasn't one. Missouri conducted a statewide tornado drill as a part of 2023 Severe Weather Preparedness Week. This siren was in Joplin and lasted for 3 minutes. Kansas also observes this week, but there were no siren tests in Pittsburgh. The week is an opportunity for Missourians and Kansas to practice their sheltering plans and ensure readiness during severe weather. After 35 years of public service, Joplin Police Chief Sloan Rowland is retiring. KOAM Shagun Bondali met with the chief to talk about his time serving the community and his plans after.
Chief Sloan Rowland started his career as an EMT working for the Cherokee County, Kansas Ambulance Service. In 1987, he moved into law enforcement as a patrolman for Galena, Kansas.
When I started working on the ambulance right after I got out of high school. They were needing drivers at the time. I ended up going to an EMT class, started working the back of the ambulance after that, and got interested in the fire department, went to fire academy, and then ultimately that kind of led me into the police department.
Roland joined the Joplin Police Department in 2003.
I think it's a lot more professional now than it was when I started. I think you see people that are looking at this as a career field, not just a job. Technology, I can't talk enough about how much technology's changed in my career.
Captain Williams Davies says the chief's record speaks for itself.
As a leader of an agency, you're kind of responsible for the good and bad, and understand we've seen crime drop.
Roland says he plans to spend more time with family.
I don't have any immediate plans. I'm going to do some traveling. I've got some overseas trips planned coming up, so just spending time with the family and enjoying retirement for a while.
Reporting in Joplin, Shegun Bamdele, KOM News.
Chief Roland's last day is slated for June. Assistant Chief Brian Lewis will serve as interim police chief as the city searches for a permanent replacement. We want to make a correction to a story we ran last night about a school bond issue in Carthage. Yesterday we said the bond was for $18 million. It is actually for $26 million. The bond would go toward funding a performing arts center and a baseball field. If approved, it would continue the current tax rate through 2040. A U.S. district judge strikes down a Missouri law banning local police from enforcing federal gun laws. The law forbids local police from enforcing federal gun laws that don't have an equivalent state law. The U.S. Justice Department says the law wreaked havoc with crime-fighting partnerships with Missouri law enforcement. The state's Republican-led legislature passed the law in 2021. Devastating news for the families of 4 Americans kidnapped in Mexico. U.S. officials have revealed 2 of the victims have died. Fox News senior national correspondent William Lawanis has the story.
Attacks on U.S. citizens are unacceptable, no matter where or under what circumstances they happen.
2 of 4 Americans kidnapped in Mexico last Friday after crossing the border from Brownsville, Texas, have been found dead. According to the State Department, the 2 survivors are now back in the U.S., brought to the border Tuesday in ambulances with a military escort. The remains of those killed, however, are still in Mexico.
Ultimately, we want to see accountability for the violence that has been inflicted on these Americans that tragically led to the death of 2 of them.
While the U.S. hasn't released any details of the investigation, Mexican officials believe the cartel may have hit the Americans by mistake. A victim's relative said the group traveled to Mexico from South Carolina so one could get a tummy tuck medical procedure. Shortly after crossing the border, their minivan came under gunfire.
It's very common for a lot of people in Brownsville, a border town, to go to Mexico to do a lot of their shopping and, etc. But this kidnapping is something that is very unusual.
The brazen daytime kidnapping caught on tape and widely shared on social media renewed criticism of the Biden administration's handling of the border and its response to the cartels.
We are fighting as hard as possible. The DEA and the FBI are doing everything possible to dismantle and disrupt and ultimately prosecute the leaders of the cartels and the entire networks that they depend on.
Meanwhile, Mexican authorities say they have 1 person in custody and are searching for others. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
Coming up, the DOJ stepping in to stop a merger.
The DOJ is stepping in to stop the merger of 2 airlines. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington with the Justice Department's argument and why the air carriers say it's a bad move.
JetBlue and Spirit Airlines will not be allowed to merge without a legal fight. JetBlue wanted to buy the famously cheap air carrier, but the Justice Department says it violates antitrust laws. Fox News correspondent Lauren Blanchard explains from Washington.
Not cleared for takeoff. That was the Justice Department's message to JetBlue and Spirit Airlines on their proposed merger. Attorney General Merrick Garland filing a civil antitrust lawsuit to halt it Tuesday.
If not blocked, the merger of JetBlue and Spirit would result in higher fares and fewer choices for tens of millions of travelers across the country.
JetBlue wanted to buy the ultra-low-cost carrier Spirit Airlines for $3.8 billion. The DOJ says the merger would drastically cut the number of budget seats in the market, hurting flyers who rely on cheaper tickets and reducing competition in an already small industry.
After spending many years criticizing consolidation in the airline industry, JetBlue appears to have changed its tune. The best way to address consolidation is not more consolidation, it is competition.
The CEO of JetBlue said yes, they would add more legroom and remove some seats from Spirit planes, but, quote, "We believe the DOJ has got it wrong on the law here and misses the point that this merger will create a national low-fare, high-quality competitor to the big four carriers." Spirit CEO put out this statement, quote, "Together we intend to democratize flying for travelers across the country, a goal we believe is worthy of the government's support." The CEOs of both JetBlue and Spirit say they will continue to push for the merger and will fight the DOJ's lawsuit. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Meta is reportedly planning more job cuts than previously announced. Facebook's parent company isn't commenting on the reports, but tells Barron's its CEO Mark Zuckerberg has called this year of efficiency. Meta intends to cut several thousands more jobs just months after cutting 11,000 employees. The parent company of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp could announce the cuts as soon as this week. Sam is back with a complete look at the forecast, and later, Webb City takes on Carl Junction in the Class 5 District 6 Girls Tournament Championship.
Well, as expected, we've seen the showers and thunderstorms developing and moving across our area during the afternoon and evening hours. They're still out there right now at Seneca, Missouri. At Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, you can see wet pavement there in the parking lot. And we've been seeing these scattered showers and storms rolling across our area over the afternoon and evening hours, and they're continuing to do so. We'll show you radar in a moment. We made it up to 58 today after starting out at 39, we're pretty close to the normals of 57 and 35, and we're ahead on the rainfall for the month as well as the year. And it looks like we're adding to that tonight. As you can see on radar, quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity, especially down in Oklahoma, extending up right basically paralleling I-44 right up into the metro area and then eastward from there over into central Missouri. Even some lightning occurring with some of these cells. Zooming in, you can see from the metro area from Joplin around 32nd Street over towards the north of Diamond, over towards Sarcoxie, and then over towards Mount Vernon, some of the heavier showers. Zooming back out, you can see a bigger cluster of thunderstorms over North Texas. There's a threat of severe weather down in North Texas and southern Oklahoma tonight. Most of that is going to stay to our south. Not expecting any severe weather in our area, just some scattered showers and storms. And you can see that activity moving over us tonight. And then we're watching another big piece of energy off the coast of western coast of Oregon and California. That's going to dive to the south and east and spit out waves of energy over the next several days, and that's why we keep the chances of rain going through right on through the weekend. Temperatures right now are in the 40s and 50s, even 61 down in Jay right now, so you can see there's a boundary in the area with temperatures a little bit cooler up towards the north and west. Dew points are also higher down to the south where it's 41 in Jay, 42 in Grove, 48 in Commerce, but still kind of dry up to the north and west in Yates Center and Iola with 39 degrees. In Joplin, you can see the wet pavement and the flash of lightning there with a temperature of 49 degrees in Joplin with rain. North wind at 9, the pressure is 30.14 inches and the humidity at 80%. In Pittsburgh, you can see earlier the winds were out of the north and gusty, 46 degrees, east-northeast wind at 10. Feels like 40 out there, dew point of 44, so the humidity is high at 93%. Risk of severe weather, again, is going to be down along the Red River tonight. Not really expected on our area. The biggest threat from any storms tonight is going to be the heavy rainfall in some isolated spots, as all the other threats are going to remain low. Rain chances tonight are going to be highest and then dropping off pretty rapidly as we go into the morning hours, but then increasing once again as we go into Thursday. That's when the next round of precipitation starts to begin. Temperatures tonight are going to drop through the 40s into the upper 50s tomorrow for highs. Lower 50s up to the north and west with some 40s as well. Then here comes the rain again tomorrow night into Thursday with scattered showers and storms. Temperatures rising into the low 50s in the afternoon. And then as we go through Friday morning, we're going to see lows generally right around freezing with northerly winds. Rainfall amounts tonight are going to be heaviest along and south of I-44. Some places could pick up another inch or so, especially down to the south. And temperatures are going to remain basically right around normal in our area, warmer to the south and much colder out towards the west. Over the next 7 days, here comes the chance of rain again for tonight, tomorrow morning, and then again on Thursday, and more scattered showers and storms on the weekend, and then drier early next week before the next system arrives on Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, we'll continue to take this rain to continue to knock away at that drought that we've had.
Absolutely, especially in southeastern Kansas.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Sam. Coming up, as hospitals nationwide see a shortage of a critical asthma medication, we'll hear from health experts about what you need to know. It's medicine commonly used to treat people with breathing problems, myself included. But liquid albuterol is in short supply, and the shortage is expected to get even worse. Reporter Maddie Gaither explains and has more.
It's a potentially life-saving drug that's been on the U.S. Food and Drug Administration's shortages list since October, and the liquid albuterol scarcity is expected to get worse after a major supplier to U.S. hospitals recently shut down.
We want to make sure that everyone is prepared and that we get ahead of this problem before it becomes disastrous for so many people.
Products from the one remaining major domestic source of liquid albuterol are on back order. Different areas are experiencing different supply issues. At Nationwide Children's Hospital in Ohio, their stock will depend on demand over the next couple of weeks.
We continue to receive shipments periodically, somewhat unexpectedly, but ultimately it's something that we are continuing to monitor to make sure that we have the drug that is needed for our patients.
Allergist Juanita Mora with the American Lung Association is advising her patients to make sure their albuterol inhaler is on hand and not expired. She says anyone who can't find the liquid form of the medicine can use the inhaler instead. Right now, albuterol inhalers don't seem to be impacted by the shortage.
It works just as well at opening up the lungs, especially when there's wheezing, shortness of breath, cough, or inflammation of the airways.
Mora says not to panic. Supply priority will be given to hospitals to treat those experiencing emergencies.
If you already have albuterol in liquid form at home, there's no need to rush and get more.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A new study finds patients with previous heart disease who get COVID-19 have a lower rate of heart complications from COVID infection if they practice intermittent fasting compared to patients who do not fast. Utah researchers found the best results among patients who had fasted for decades because it reduces hyperinflammation in the heart associated with poor COVID outcomes. Up next, we'll learn about an ancient statue uncovered during an excavation in Egypt. Archaeologists have uncovered an ancient statue and shrine in Egypt. During an excavation on the eastern bank of the Nile River, they found the artifacts carved in limestone. The Sphinx-like statue was uncovered inside the shrine. Scientists believe it could represent the Roman Emperor Claudius, who ruled from year 41 to 54. Excavations at the site are still ongoing. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. The Vernon County, Missouri Historical Society hosts a Night at the Museum event featuring a dinner, dance, and games. Plus,
Ukraine's president says Ukrainian forces are staying put in a city with no strategic value that is being heavily attacked by the Russians. I'm Steve Harrigan in Kiev. That story ahead.
Vernon County Historical Society held its 7th annual Night at the Museum fundraiser. KOAM's Amber Jenkins has more.
The community of Vernon County came out to support the local museum during this annual Night at the Museum program.
It has really taken off. We had a couple
breaks for a couple years during COVID, but last year we restarted it and we had a really great turnout.
The Night at the Museum is the Historical Society's biggest fundraiser of the year, raising money to host free community events once warmer weather arrives. It features a dinner, games, and a show from the Nevada High School Choir.
Well, this is a great way for the community to come together to experience the museum and also just share some fellowship and good food. So it's a lot of fun, and we'll be wrapping the evening up with some bingo games.
The Night at the Museum is not only a staple in the community, but a tradition that the high schoolers look forward to.
My freshman year, which was, that was like 3 or 4 years ago, we performed our World's Fair show here, and that was really fun. And so I'm very excited we get to do it again this year.
So this is one of my last performances, kind of sentimental.
The Night at the Museum adopted the theme of a barn house showdown.
It's like, we're at a barn dance. It's just kind of a good time, and I feel like it's pretty enjoyable to watch, so.
Reporting in Nevada, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Vernon County Historical Society is planning more events for the community. Pittsburgh High School's theater department is getting ready for its production of SpongeBob the Musical. The department tonight hosted its media night. In the musical, an unexpected hero comes to the rescue as Bikini Bottom faces total destruction. The cast of characters includes all of the SpongeBob staples that you would expect, including Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and of course, Mr. SquarePants himself.
Playing a character that is so iconic was a little bit of a struggle at first because I was really nervous I'd mess up or not be the SpongeBob, and it's been a really fun experience just getting to be like a kid, just like a little kid again, being SpongeBob on stage. It's been really cool.
Performances will be at 7 p.m. on Thursday and Friday and at 2 p.m. on Saturday at Pittsburgh High School. General admission tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for students. Students at Joplin High School's JoJo's Coffee Shop today received a DECA Gold Level Certification Award for their business efforts. Only 11 schools in Missouri received the same certification. The judging criteria includes procedures, training, financials, and marketing efforts of their school's business.
I've been able to interact with so many customers. All of the students that come down and order things from the coffee shop, we're able to see what they're interested in and use that to guide our menu boards and our specials that we change weekly.
The students who contributed to the certification were Taylor Colson, Adeline Gaston, and Colton Green. Ukrainian President Zelensky has announced Ukrainian forces will not withdraw from the key strategic city of Bakhmut, despite indications just days ago that a retreat was imminent. Fox News correspondent Steve Harrigan has more from Kyiv, Ukraine.
No retreat and no surrender. That's the word from Ukraine's president as the fighting on the Eastern Front intensifies. Volodymyr Zelensky says his troops will not pull back from the city of Bakhmut, contradicting statements made last week by his top commanders. The city has been virtually destroyed as Russia sends in wave after wave of fresh recruits. Casualties are reaching staggering numbers on both sides, but the Ukrainians say they won't back down.
To take Bakhmut is a matter of principle for them, and for us it's a matter of principle to defend it. It's not just a city, it's a symbol. That's why we will stand our ground.
But Russia might be getting help from a key ally. China's new foreign minister saying Tuesday his country will expand ties with Moscow. Experts say that might include an arms deal, prompting warnings of economic sanctions from some lawmakers.
I would highly recommend that he stays away from Ukraine. To think about supporting Russia in this invasion in Ukraine is not going to help him globally.
Meanwhile, Ukraine is calling for an investigation after this video surfaced showing the execution of an unarmed Ukrainian prisoner in a shallow grave. President Zelensky says it's just one example of the ongoing war crimes being committed by Russia.
The occupiers brutally killed a soldier who bravely said to their face, "Glory to Ukraine. We will find the killers."
Ukraine says it has identified the 30-year-old soldier who went missing in action just 1 month ago. In Kyiv, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
A bit later, how scammers are stepping up their game with the help of artificial intelligence.
Well, we've seen the scattered showers and storms develop and move across our area today, and they're still ongoing. We'll take a look at radar in a few moments. First, let's look outside at Syndica, Missouri with Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, wet parking lot down there, where they've had some scattered showers this evening as well. This afternoon in Joplin, we made it up to 58 degrees after starting out at 39, which was pretty close to the normals of 57 and 35, and we're ahead on the rainfall for both the month and the year, and we're going to be adding to those totals over the next few days. You can see on radar right now a wide area of scattered showers and storms extending from southeastern Cedar County down to Lawrence County, and then right along and parallel to Interstate 44 all the way down into Oklahoma. Even some bolts of lightning occurring with some of these cells. Zooming in on some of that activity, you can see over in Lawrence County some storms near Mount Vernon now starting to move towards the east, and this extends on back down towards Sarcoxy, where a few lightning bolts are occurring there, and then back down towards Diamond and south of Joplin and into northeastern Oklahoma. Looking at the winds, the good thing is that none of this is rotating. No circulations or tornadic activity tonight, and we don't expect any with the activity. Instead, we're watching the showers and storms over our area, but notice down to the south, there are some big storms developing along the Red River. They could have some severe weather along the Red River later on tonight. And then we're going to be turning our attention to the west, because this piece of energy is going to be spitting pieces of waves of energy at us over the next few days, and with each wave, we get more rounds of showers and storms. Temperatures this evening range anywhere from the 40s up to the north and west down to the 60s still at this hour in Jay, 57 over in Bella Vista and 58 in Anderson. And dew points are up as well, especially where it's been raining, like Chitopa with 51 right now, 47 in Jay. Up to the north and west though, Yates Center still kind of dry at 39 with their dew point. Right now in Joplin, we've seen the rain come down on the tower cam with a temperature of 47 degrees, east-northeast wind at 10. Feels like 42 out there. Dew point is 43 and the humidity is kind of high. Earlier, we had some winds out of the north in Pittsburgh, 45 degrees right now. Northeast wind at 10, making it feel like 40, and a pretty high humidity of 92%. Here's the risk of severe weather again down to the south in southern Oklahoma. In our area, we'll just have scattered showers and storms with a moderate risk of some of those heavy rainfall in the region. And as we look at the rain chances, tonight they're going to be high, then tomorrow lower, and then they come right back as we head into Thursday. Temperatures tonight are going to drop through the 40s with scattered showers and storms. Then tomorrow we're going to see temperatures rising into the 50s with easterly winds, and then the rain comes back tomorrow night into Thursday morning with lows in the 40s. And then as we go through Thursday afternoon, highs in the 50s with the rain still with us. And then by Friday morning, winds turn around to the north and we get close to freezing. Best chance of showers and storms tonight, with the heaviest rain is going to be down to the south along I-44 and point southward with maybe an inch or more. Let's take a look at the next 7 days. Rain late tonight into the morning, and then Thursday, and then again on Saturday and Sunday. Drier on Monday and Tuesday before the next system arrives next Wednesday and Thursday. So it's becoming more spring-like out there with these showers and storms.
Yeah, and then I'm sure myself and everybody else across the 4 states, as soon as you said, you know, we're ahead of schedule, and as far as rainfall goes,
yes,
that's a big plus.
That's what we want to see this time of year. Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Sam. Coming up in sports, the Carl Junction girls aim for their 8th straight district championship against Webb City. Plus, the Pitt State Gorillas hit the field for the first day of spring football. Jacob Leonard has that and more after the break.
Well, tonight is championship night at the Class 5 District 7 girls basketball tournament in Webb City. We actually have a rivalry game tonight for the district title, with tournament host Webb City facing the Carl Junction Bulldogs. The Carl Junction is the top-ranked team in the state in Class 5. They're looking for their 8th consecutive district championship. And the first, Sammy Mancini hits the jumper off the window. Webb City gets the first points of the night. Mancini leads the Cards with 23. Other end, Destiny Berge connects from the corner 3. She scores 16 in the first half. Bulldogs lead by 7 after 1. Second quarter, they add to that lead. Hallie Shorter, deep ball of her own. It's Carl Junction by 11 at halftime. And they finish it off in the second half. Kylie Scott, patient in the lane. Turnaround jumper goes. And Chloe Burke from the top of the key. 3 is good. Burke gets 12 for the Bulldogs tonight. Finally, back to Destiny Berge. Drives here by everybody and scores 36 points tonight for Destiny Berge. Carl Junction beats Webb City tonight 67-42. The Bulldogs get their 8th straight district title.
It was a lot of fun. You know, our girls came out and played hard. Obviously, it feels good to win our 8th in a row, and to do it here on the road at Webb City against Webb City was pretty impressive by our group.
It means a lot because we do really have good chemistry, and it helps, and it shows on the court, obviously, and we just work the ball, and we get each other open, and we love each other, and we have each other's backs no matter what happens.
They don't want to lose. You know, they don't want to lose, and you have that in, and if they continue to work at it, good things will happen, and that's what we've been talking about all week long. And we knew Webb City was going to play tough. They're a really good team, so I'm really proud of our kids.
Well, today is the opening day of spring practice for Pitt State football. The Gorillas will practice through the rest of the month and into April before wrapping things up with their annual spring game on April 14th. Pitt State up on the field early this morning for practice number 1. The Gorillas were actually 12-1 overall last season. They won the MIAA Conference Championship, won a playoff game before falling to eventual national champion Ferris State in the second round of the playoffs. Their goal for the end of the season is the same as always, but after being in the weight room the last few weeks, the Gorillas are excited to be back on the field, starting the process of getting back to the top of the MIAA.
It's exciting just to, work with the new group this year and a new group of leaders and some guys that are filling some spots maybe where guys graduated a year ago. So that part's fun, and it's just always fun building, from the ground up and seeing where we start here at spring, and then it'll be fun to see where we end up at the end of spring.
I think it's just getting better every day. Just keep finding one thing to get better at every day, individually, as a team, as a unit, and if we can do that, I think we can close the gap and have a good spring.
The St. Louis Cardinals are about 3 weeks away from their regular season opener. So far in spring training, the Cardinals are 6-3 in 9 games. Now today the Cards hit the field against the Tigers. Not a good day. St. Louis gives up 16, falling 16-3. Daniel Carlson goes 1 for 3 on the day with a solo home run. Now the Cards are right back at it tomorrow afternoon against the New York Yankees. Jalen, this is a busy time of the year. We got playoff basketball, of course. It's the start of baseball and softball. And then they got to go start spring football, too, at this time. I love this time of the year. Everything means something, but it's also busy.
And then how about those Carl Junction girls? 8 straight?
Yeah, it's dominant. A lot of different kids have walked in there and won. That's multiple teams, multiple classes.
Yeah, that's like New England's Patriots type of dominance right there. All right, we're back with more after this. Scams nationwide are growing at an alarming rate, with scammers becoming more clever each time. Now experts are sharing one of the latest trends these criminals are using to take advantage of people. Fox's Tim Vakar has the story.
The latest internet monster, voice cloning, is already loose and running wild. You get a call on voicemail from a friend or relative saying they need money immediately because of an emergency that requires money. It sounds just like them, and so you send the money or your credit card number.
You get a call saying I'm in jail or I'm stuck somewhere, and it really does sound like your loved one, but it could very well be a scammer.
University of Michigan computer science engineer Professor Hafiz Malik is working on ways to hold the monster of deepfake voice cloning at bay.
Technology is moving at lightning pace. And this monster is just like getting better, and they are getting more and more realistic every passing day.
The motherlode of pre-recorded voice and videos is found on social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, and many, many more. Voices are also often recorded at meetings and rallies, or simply talking to someone on the phone who's trying to sell you something, or asking survey questions is more than enough. And hacked phone voicemail is another source.
Based on my understanding, I think current state is you need just few seconds of someone's voice, typing in the text, and you can put words in my mouth that I never utter, never say.
Malik and other experts are creating, as we speak, systems to divulge deep fakes. But this is a high-tech game of cat and mouse.
We are very close to the point where you could have a live telephone call with a bot and not know you're talking to a bot.
Until there's a foolproof tech remedy to automatically detect this cloning, there is the potential for even the deepest evils imaginable.
There's a lot you can do that's harmful with this kind of technology. You can get somebody very upset, an example being recording the voice of a loved one who's passed on.
And if the victims are highly susceptible to such manipulation, the victims can be ripped off to keep up these false conversations.
Coming up, we'll hear the story of a Wisconsin man and his dogs who were rescued after falling through a frozen pond. A Wisconsin man can't thank first responders enough. They rescued him and his dogs after they fell through an ice that was frozen on Sunday. He's resting at home now, relieved, warm, and perhaps most importantly, dry. Bruce Harrison has the story.
Todd Fornes planned to spend Sunday on the couch watching golf.
I was cutting wood 2 days ago from the storm damage, and I hurt my back a little bit, and then the next day I go swimming.
An unexpected dip in this pond, trying to save his dogs.
You just grabbed this and put it down flat and kind of got on your belly on the middle of it.
Yep, and then just pulled myself out there.
On body camera video, first responders straining to pull Fornes to shore.
What went through your mind when you went through the ice?
I don't remember. It was just get to the dogs.
Todd says Bo and Stormy know normally not to go on the ice, but they decided to chase two goofy geese, he says, that just didn't fly south this winter.
Fornes' partner called 911, and Racine County Sheriff's deputies, a state trooper, and Raymond and Fire Rescue arrived within minutes. Stormy the dog got out on her own, but Bo and Fornes needed an assist.
I was tired.
Yeah.
I was not my last breath by any means, because I had the float with me, but yeah, I was tired.
The sheriff's office says Fornes was in the water for about 10 minutes. He says he's fine and grateful.
You know, they came out to help. You don't know if they don't know if they might get themselves in trouble. So I can't thank them enough.
And the dogs? Well, Stormy's a little skittish from all the activity Sunday, but Bo, he just wants to play. And fortunately, it appears the geese have finally taken flight.
A round of applause to our first responders and another thank you to Police Chief Rowland out of Joplin. That's our time for tonight, and thank you all so much for joining us. But before you go, I'll leave you with a video of penguins at the Calgary Zoo enjoying a snow day. Be safe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow. See you then.